It'll be a whiteout in the desert as we say goodbye to Arizona's NHL franchise. Will it be forever? I don't know. We'll get you set for the Oilers of the Coyotes right here on the Oil Stream, brought to you by GCL Diesel. Tom Gazzola and YouTube Trev with you. Matt Kassian stopping by in about 8 minutes' time. GCL Diesel, presenting sponsor of the Oil Stream, Edmonton's diesel fuel system specialists and providers of critical engine components for over 50 years. Check them out, GCL Diesel. Join the conversation. Hit us up on the text line 780-218-9999 or via the Nasty Chat on our YouTube channel. I see the Nasties are starting to roll in. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well on this chilly but sunny evening in good old our town. We got that snowstorm yesterday. It's been windy as hell all day. Just a little kiss from winter goodbye. Just like we're going to kiss goodbye to the Arizona Coyotes tonight. And I'm not going to lie to you. I know that they gave the Coyotes and Alex Morello a 5-year window to get an NHL franchise back in the desert. He has to win that land auction. He has to develop a new arena and district. I don't like his chances. However, we will celebrate the Arizona Coyotes tonight, I guess, as the Oilers are their final foe before they move on to Salt Lake City. Edmonton 49-25-6. Arizona 35-41-5. Game number 81 for the Oil, 82 for the Coyotes. Talking to my buddy who works for the team, he says not a lot of work's getting done around the office these days, and it's like a funeral every single day, and that is very, very unfortunate. But 28 years in the desert and minimal success on and off the ice. And finally, the National Hockey League has cut the cord with Arizona. For now, forever, we shall see. But they're saying there's a chance. We're also going to be joined by Remy Masty from the Hockey News down in Phoenix. He'll give us the scoop on the vibe around there, how people are feeling, will they be missed? We'll talk to Remy and get his thoughts on all of that. And these last couple of days, we'll hear from Josh Doan, son of Shane, who's had an impact in his short time as a member of the Coyotes. Obviously played at ASU as well. Very familiar with Mullet Arena. Tickets were triple in price from what I understand and what was told from friends down there. So, it's going to be interesting. And they're asking for a whiteout. Looks like they're going to get one in their last game down in the desert. Let's get YouTube Trev on here. Trev, what do you make of all of this? All you've known is an NHL with a Coyotes team in it. I recall the Winnipeg Jets 1.0.
Yeah.
Vividly.
Yeah, it's interesting, Tommy. I think it's like, as far as emotional ties go, and I kind of talked about this on the Nielsen show, I have no connection to this team whatsoever. Like, just growing up, like, they were never, they didn't have, like, you know, they had Shane. Good. No, they weren't. Like, they had Shane Doan, but he was kind of nearing the end of his career, and he wasn't like an elite, like, bona fide star. Like, he's like a really good player, but, like, you know, he wasn't putting up like, they didn't have that franchise all-star. They never really did.
Shane Doan was as close as it got.
Yeah, so it sucks. You know, the whole, like, I've moved. It's not fun. I've done it my whole life, and they're gonna have to, you know, they're going to a pretty cool. I like it. I was looking at it. It may not be as cool, but, like, I like the mountains, and, like, it looks beautiful.
Arizona has mountains. They're desert mountains, not cold ones. I know people love skiing. All that Park City. It's beautiful too.
I didn't know that. I've never been to Arizona either, Tommy. But
I'll have to get you down there.
Yeah, we'll definitely be doing that. But yeah, so it'll just be nice to move on, because I feel like it's been ongoing, and it's just been like for so long. It's just been up in the air. They don't know what they're doing. The NHL doesn't, and you know, you got Gary Bettman like making promises saying this team is staying like this, and it's like here we are. It's like what are we doing? Like it's
posturing.
It is. So I think it's bittersweet, but you know, here's in saying that, I really hope the Arizona Coyotes, they show up tonight in the luxurious Mullet Arena and So it'll kind of be fitting, and I like that they are showing up. You know, you talk about the ticket prices. I'd feel bad if like they were like, whatever, we don't care. So there is that. It's like, okay, you do still have somewhat of the really diehard fans.
Yeah.
It's just it's time. It really is. It's like nothing else is working, Tommy. So I'm okay with it. And new team. Yeah, I'm also okay with that.
What say you? Text us 780-218-9999. Question of the night. What will you remember most about the Arizona/Phoenix Coyotes? Also get in on the nasty chat. I'll float that question of the night out there a few times, scatter it about throughout the entirety of the show. What will you remember most about the Arizona/Phoenix Coyotes? I will remember them for having Wayne Gretzky as a head coach, and I remember how awkward and weird that seemed. It did not go well.
Yeah, that's funny. I remember that too. I was in grade 5 when actually that was when he was behind the bench for the good old Desert Dogs. As far as my what will I remember? It probably, like as far as the Oilers, like there was never a crazy rivalry. The games actually I thought were pretty boring whenever they faced. But for me, it would probably be the 2012 playoffs when they did upset the Chicago Blackhawks. They went to the Western Conference quarterfinals. So that's like the only thing. And I was like, okay, this is sweet, good for them, because that was like the first time they did anything really of significance. So yeah, that's probably what I got, but that's all I got. Like I was thinking about this. I'm like, I don't know what else there is. I really don't.
Not a lot. So what will you remember most about the Arizona/Phoenix Coyotes? Text us 780-218-9999. And then in the nasty chat, we want to hear from you. I will read those out as we progress through the show. All right, before Cass hops on board in a couple minutes here, let's get to starting lineups. The Oilers have recalled Philip Broberg, like I mentioned they probably would, for the last 3 weeks, essentially. And then I threw it out there that look for Sam Gagner to get the call up. Well, that happened today. Gagner and Adam Ernie being recalled by the Oilers today. So Sam Gagner likely playing his last game, I'm guessing in the NHL, and wrapping it up the way it should be as a member of the Edmonton Oilers. And then there will likely be a front office opportunity for Sam Gagner, hockey ops, something like that. They wanted to get him in there a few years ago. He said, no, I'm not done playing. And managed to play a few more years in the NHL/AHL. Good on Sam Gagner. Okay, let's go to starting lineups. For the Oilers tonight, McDavid between Henrique and Hyman. Draisaitl between Nugent-Hopkins and Foegele. Ryan McLeod centering Dylan Holloway and Corey Perry. Sam Carrick with Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown. As for the defense, Matthias Ekholm with Evan Bouchard, Brett Kulak with Vinny Desharnais, Philip Broberg, he's back with Troy Stetcher also being reinserted into the lineup. No Kane, no Draisaitl, no Nurse, and no Ryan. I have to double check that. What did I mess up there? I messed something up there, Trev. Did you catch that? I thought I had my lineup maximized.
I think.
Let me verify.
Yeah.
Me. Draisaitl is playing. That's what I screwed up. I put him into out. He is in. So Draisaitl between Nugent-Hopkins and Foegele. There. I corrected my own mistake.
Yeah, no, you're all good. I was
initially correct.
Yeah, you're good, Tommy. I was distracted. All of a sudden, I heard a loud applause on the TV, and looking at the nasty chat, Nikita Kucherov got his 100 apples.
Oh, there you go. All right, little update there. Has Austin Matthews scored his 70th to claim best player in the NHL?
Not yet.
Okay, well, I know a guy who's excited to talk about that. It's Matt Kassian. But first, really quickly, the Coyotes lineup in their final game as a team based out of Arizona. Alex Kerfoot between Clayton Keller and Nick Schmaltz. Logan Cooley with Lawson Krause and Dylan Gunther. Jack McBain between Matthias Michelli and Josh Doan. Michael Carcone with Liam O'Brien and Aku Ratu. Even though it looks like Roddy, it is Ratu. J.J. Moser paired up with Sean Dursey. Juuso Valimaki with Michael Kesselring. Vladislav Kolyachonok with Josh Brown. Out for the Coyotes, Nick Bukestad, day-to-day undisclosed. He was the King Clancy nominee for the Coyotes. Classy guy for the Oilers. It's Darnell Nurse. Travis Dermott, day-to-day upper body. Barrett Hayton, day-to-day lower body. Travis Boyd, IR, torn pectoral. Starting goalies tonight, 32-year-old Calvin Pickard, 12-6-1, 241 GAA, 912 save percentage, 1 shutout, 21 games this season. Pickard, 3-2-1 with a 254 GAA, 917 save percentage in 7 games against Arizona over the course of his career. And then for the Coyotes, it'll be 27-year-old Connor Ingram, 22-21-3 record. 293 goals against average, 906 save percentage, 6 shutouts in 49 games this season. Ingram versus Edmonton, 0-2-1 record, 531 goals against average, 832 save percentage in 3 games versus the Oil over the course of his career. Let's bring him on. It is our game analyst. It is Matt Kassian. Hello, Cass. What's going on, pal? You doing well? Are you cheering for Austin Matthews?
Oh, I'm just rooting for him. Just can't wait to see him do it. It'd make my might make my year, Tom.
Yeah.
If Austin Matthews gets 70, I would be so excited and so thrilled for all the conversations we will have about him being the best player in the world.
Woo.
Woo. Yeah, I mean, hey, I actually do want him to get it. I think it'd be awesome. Not very many guys get it. So it'd be great. You know, just like McDavid getting 100 assists, Kucherov getting 100 assists. You don't see it all the time. It'd be great to see. It's just all the extra stuff and the noise that the Toronto pundits will be repping. That irks me slightly, but pretty sweet that he could get it. I hope he does.
Hey, did you get a fresh haircut? That's the first thing Trev noticed.
I didn't have time to. I didn't have time to style it post haircut after getting back home. So you're stuck with the EST hat, which is also classic.
Cass in the nasty chat says his milkshake brings all the trade offers to the yard.
Yeah. Well, today we're trading Draisaitl. Holloway centering the first line, and we're bringing in Matt Sundin.
Because, lovely. How did Matt Sundin get into this equation?
I don't know, but he's part of it now.
Fantastic, Cass. All right, before we get into game changers, I do want to throw out the question of the night one more time, and I want to get your thoughts on it. 780-218-9999. Let us know if you're just joining us. If you're just joining us on the EST YouTube channel, hit that thumbs up button, please, and thank you. Question of the night is this: what will you remember most about the Arizona/Phoenix Coyotes?
Oh, probably the Desert Dog jerseys, if I'm being honest. And
Which
if I'm
ones?
also being, well, like the originals.
The
like
Kachinas.
The Kachinas.
Yeah, those are great.
I'll probably remember those the most. Next would be that they had to play in Mullet Arena for a couple of years, like that. And I know I wish that wasn't going to be the case, but that's probably going to be the case. I mean, I'll have good memories about some of the players that played for them. Good memories about like Jeremy Roenick being there. That was awesome. Shane Doan being there for a long time. Keith Tkachuk. So there were good players that I still, think were great players that I love to watch that made their way through Arizona. That it's like, yeah, I'll probably think of them too, but really I'm going to be like, oh yeah, those are pretty sweet jerseys. I still think their jerseys are sweet. The old ones, and that they played in a tiny little rink and not a lot of people could fit in. That's probably going to be the number 1 and number 2.
You spent a training camp with them. Was there anything memorable about that? Did you go golfing?
Nope.
Nope.
Not overly. Whatever what is it called now? I can't remember what the old rink now is called.
Jobbing.com, Gila River Arena, Glendale Arena.
Yeah, Glendale. It was actually, I do remember, it was actually a pretty good building. Like the building was fine. The facilities were decent. From a team playing standpoint, it just was forever away. And even, living at a hotel where it's just like you were forever away.
Where did they keep you? Because there's the Renaissance right next door, which is all right, but there's some stuff to do there.
There's some stuff. Yeah, I think we were at the Renaissance. I think it was the Renaissance that was right there.
Yeah.
Pre-training camp, though, was out at a place by the practice facility out more towards Scottsdale for a couple days there, too. So kind of in a little bit of both. Yeah, by the ice den there. So, nothing. Oh, well, I got a story. Actually, This might be one of the most memorable things. So this was back. Uber was still a pretty new thing at this point.
Yeah,
like with the rideshare thing. And I had walked to go to dinner at a restaurant that was probably like a 10 to 15 minute walk away from the hotel. So it was a little bit of a hike, and it was hot out.
Yeah,
and so I didn't want to walk back. So I'm like, all right, I'll get a taxi. I'll get a cab.
Yeah.
Go back to the hotel. shut her down. And so you finish my dinner, go up to the host at the front, and was just like, hey, could you call me a cab, or like, I need to get back to the hotel. This is where I'm going. They're like, sure, we'll call you something. Just hang out here and it'll show up. So I was hanging up out there. I was just standing in the front. Car pulls up. Doesn't look like a taxi, but a car pulls up. And I'm just kind of standing there, sitting there waiting. Driver gets out, walks in, is like, hey, are you the guy waiting for a ride? And I was like, yeah, I'm waiting for a ride to go back to the hotel. And he was like, oh, you're my ride. Come on in. So I was like, oh, cool. Like they called the car, or the hotel had a shuttle, or like I didn't know what they did. So I went and hopped in, and he's like, so where are you going? I was like, oh, just going down the road to whatever, the Renaissance. And he's like, oh, okay, that's not what it says in here, but that's no problem. Like, I'll just take you there. So he drives me there and drops me off. And, I get out and go inside, and then it doesn't click for probably about 20 minutes. When I was just sitting there, I'm like, I just stole somebody's Uber completely by accident.
And you had no idea.
Like, no idea. I'm like, so someone was probably walking around looking for this Uber, like paid for my ride. At that point, the guy's gone, the car's gone. I can't be like, oh, hey, dude, like I'm apologizing, like give the guy some cash or something.
Right.
Because I remember even thinking after, I even think I actually gave him a couple bucks as a tip. Like, where I was just like, here, thanks. And because I was like, oh, that's awfully nice of that restaurant or hotel, like to provide a little shuttle service. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I didn't have to pay for this. Oh man. So I stole an Uber by accident, and I to this day feel bad about it, but it happened. There you go. That's one of my more memorable stories from there.
I like. So there you go. Cass's thing that he's going to remember most from the Arizona/Phoenix Coyotes, and he went to training camp with them. So let me know your thoughts, 780-218-9999, or via the nasty chat. What will you remember most about the Arizona/Phoenix Coyotes as we roll into Game Changers with one Matt Kassian, the Uber thief? Brought to you by Damon Bunting RE/MAX Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in Greater Edmonton, and of course, among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find the right home or make the move from your current home. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at DamonBunting. Real estate number one as we await the finale in Arizona Coyotes history, I guess for the time being, but I think that this is the kiss goodbye. You're saying, say goodbye, Cass.
Say goodbye, yeah. Give your see you laters to the Arizona Coyotes, to the fans there. Going to be an emotional one, I think, for the Arizona Coyotes, not necessarily for the Edmonton Oilers. It's an interesting situation because you have a game for Edmonton. Your playoff place is solidified. You know where you're going to finish. There's not a lot on the line. But it feels like there's a lot on the line for Arizona, where they want to make a little bit of a statement. And I think as a player, you want to say thank you, knowing that the fans there are not going to be able to, just pack up and go with you when you're in Salt Lake City next year. I think you're wanting to go out with your best foot forward. You're wanting to put on a show. You're wanting to beat Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. And you're wanting to, have as much of a statement as you can in your last game. Even if it's at Mullet Arena and it's a small little rink, you're still going to want to put on a show for the fans. And I think that just adds a little bit of an emotional charge to the game for the Arizona Coyotes. And I'm kind of interested to see how Edmonton responds to it. Like, again, I'm not going to read into this game. I don't think any of us can at all from a playoff implication standpoint. But, I'm just kind of curious to see how some of the guys in Edmonton respond and what type of game we actually see with the extra emotion from the Arizona Coyotes.
So say goodbye, says Cass, in number one of Game Changers. All right, Cass, number two tonight, Bro Daddy and Stetch Daddy.
Yeah, Broberg and Stetch Daddy, both in the lineup. And people are like, whoa, why didn't this happen 6 months ago? And they should be playing top pairing minutes because these guys should be top pairing guys. And hey, they're stepping in. Well, people were upset when Broberg was sent down. And then when Stetcher got traded here, the, sit CC for Stetcher train was never ending on the post-game show and the pre-game show, and two guys and a goalie.
Yep.
There was a lot of it. And it just never really made sense to me. Now, this makes sense to me, to have CC and Nurse, it looks like, are going to be the two that sit out tonight. To have Broberg step in, get another couple NHL games, get his legs underneath him, let him feel NHL pace before going back to the playoffs in Bakersfield. I think that's a great idea. Reward him. He's been working hard down there. He's been playing pretty well by all accounts since he's been down there in the last month, especially. So yeah, give him a little bit of a reward. Let him have a couple days of NHL paycheck and give him a ton of minutes. Let him play. Again, I think to go to point number one again, I think part of what's interesting is, for the Arizona Coyotes, this isn't a throwaway game. This is their last game.
Yep.
And for Broberg in particular, what type of game is he going to play? Are we going to see that Broberg that's confident with the puck that rushes it? Or are we going to see that Broberg that was turning over pucks and being lost in his own zone and kind of spinning around trying to find somebody, not knowing where to go? Or is he going to play like he's more established, more comfortable, more confident, and steady in himself and is in himself as a player, which is what we want to see. And I think you're going to get some pressure from Arizona because they're going to, again, they want to go out in their best foot possible. Now for Stetcher, just a chance to get back into the lineup, keep your legs moving, and stay sharp in case you're needed in the playoffs. So for both those guys, I think important game for both of them. But I think the eyes will be on Broberg probably a little bit more than anything, and especially the eyes of again all those people that were like Broberg needs to play 30 minutes a night in the NHL, where he's not ready.
He has to earn that.
He has to earn it, but hey, he can show after his time in the AHL that maybe he's progressed a little bit more towards that tonight.
How closely will you be watching Philip Broberg specifically from the top of the circle back to the top of the crease and between the dots, the slot essentially?
Yeah, really in the house, in his own zone. That's where I'm going to be watching it because that's where he struggled the most. That's where he made the most mistakes. And I think maybe I'd make it, I don't know. He not like he was completely lost out there, but there were many times where he would be kind of just spinning his head around, trying to find, not knowing who he was responsible for, not knowing if he was in the right position, like kind of some guessing defensively.
Yep.
Am I in the right spot? Am I not in the right spot? And could it be a confidence thing? Part of it could be a confidence thing, but part of it is a play thing as well. So yes, completely. I mean, I hope in the offensive zone, he feels free just to play, do whatever he needs to. But I want to see him batten down the hatches and just play that steady when you're in between the dots, when you're in your own zone, just lock down the middle of that ice and play mistake-free hockey.
That will be key. Broberg, by the way, through 48 games in Bakersfield this year, 5 goals, 30 assists, 35 points, 16 penalty minutes, a +9. He scored a nice goal last week against Coachella Valley in overtime where he went end-to-end, basically uncontested. It was a nice goal.
Yep.
And he used
I loved that. Yeah, that's what you want to see on the offensive side. Now, generally speaking, you're not going to be able to do that playing 5-on-5 because there's too many guys on the ice.
Yeah.
But to see him take the puck, get his toes up ice, good couple first steps, and just drive and just skate and just go, that's what you hope he does when he has the puck. Again, I'm more concerned on the defensive side to see what he does.
Through 10 games with the Oilers this year, no points, -2, no penalty minutes. So let's see if he can have a nice night tonight. Probably plays tomorrow, I would assume. Cass, any thoughts on Adam Ernie and Sam Gagner getting the call up?
Well, same thing. You're going to give some guys a little bit of a break. Gagner, he's probably going to be on the playoff roster at some capacity, depending on Bakersfield and how long they go.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, you're letting him finish the season on the roster.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing for a guy that has been for years and years, both in Edmonton and for other teams, just a really good soldier and a good human being. So I am happy he's back. Lots of people are happy he's back. And I don't, not coming into it with any expectations from a play standpoint for him, but is a potentially final kick at the can here. Hey, I'm happy Sam's back.
So am I. I hope that they sneak him in tomorrow night for that game. Ernie. Sure, whatever. And I mean that with all due respect. Like, good.
No, it is. Yeah. It is. But really, he's, with Kanan and with Holloway and with Ryan or with Carrick, he's down the depth chart a little bit.
Exactly.
So is it good for him to get an NHL game or two? Great, sure. But the likelihood of him seeing any time in the playoffs is minimal.
Yeah,
I would say.
Exactly.
And that's not to say anything bad about him, but there's just players in front of him on the roster.
Thank you. Thank you for articulating that. It is Game Changers with Matt Kassian. Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting. Remax Elite number 1 was Say Goodbye. Number 2, Bro Daddy and Stetch Daddy. Number 3, Aggression Balance. And I'm curious about this one. Go on.
Yeah.
Cass.
Well, it's such a, this game to me is such a balance, because you're trying to walk the line of, we still want the good habits, but we don't need to have anyone get hurt. We don't need to put ourselves in any dangerous situation. And you're balancing it with the, well, it doesn't really matter if we win in the back of our minds, really. So, finding, I think, a healthy balance of, I need to be thinking about the playoffs, but I also want to keep those good habits in, and play aggressive, but not play too aggressive or unnecessarily aggressive, or put ourselves or my teammates in a position where, someone could get hurt, or it's just not a good spot to be in. I mean, you're going to be thinking about that a little bit, or you should be thinking about that a little bit. So again, it's a unique, interesting game just because of the emotion level I think we're going to see from the Arizona Coyotes and the position that the Edmonton Oilers are in as far as the playoffs go. It's interesting, Tommy, and I think you just need to approach it for the Oilers with a balanced approach, where you do want to win, you still want to play well, want to build those good habits, but not put particularly your top guys in any kind of position where they could unnecessarily get banged up.
Would it be as simple as taking in the strategy of make the third and fourth line your first and second lines tonight, lines 1 and 2 or 3 and 4, essentially just flipping them? Yeah.
From a time standpoint, yeah. I mean, your first and second line, and you could rotate some of the other guys, if depending if you're with your centerman. But really, your top guys should play 14, 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I would expect.
We saw that against the Sharks. No qualms there. 9-2 drubbing of a listless San Jose club. All right, that is Game Changers. Say Goodbye was number 1. Number 2, Bro Daddy and Stetch Daddy. Number 3, Aggression Balance. Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite. Cass, let's get to a few texts here. We have Remy Masty joining us from the Hockey News in Phoenix in about 12 minutes or so. So, Cass, I did put the question of the night out there when you came on. I put it out there a little bit earlier. I'm going to throw it out there one more time. Want to get as many texts and responses as we can on this one. What will you remember most about the Arizona/Phoenix Coyotes? Text us 780-218-9999 or via the nasty chat. My answer was the Gretzky days when he coached. What did you go with again, Trev?
I went with you're asking me. No, Trev. I want to hear Trev.
Yeah. I was just saying the 2012 when they made it to the Western Conference Finals. I thought that was kind of cool. It stuck with me. I was like, that's not bad. That's really the only thing I could think of. But I like what Cass said with the jerseys, the Kachinas. They've actually had a pretty good history of jersey. That I like to say.
And then Cass remembers stealing an Uber from someone when he was in training camp with the Coyotes. I'm just kidding. You remember?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
It's fitting. And then playing at Mullet Arena was the other thing for Cass. The Wolf says, hello, Nasties. I'm hoping to see a sea of white at today's game. That's a nice touch. Hey, Cass?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a nice touch.
Yeah.
I hope they do that. I mean, I hope they do it as best a service as they can.
Right.
Given the situation. I hope. I really hope so. Yeah.
Go Ubari, says the Gretzky coaching years. So Go Ubari is with me there. Huntario Momes is talking about they made Austin Matthews is the only answer. We shouldn't be graced with his NHL career without the youth. That is actually a good point. I think, without, the youth programs and the inspiration from going to a Coyotes game or a few Coyotes games, he wouldn't have taken up hockey. Who knows? Maybe he'd be a very good middle reliever in the MLB.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. He probably throws 70 strikeouts a year.
I see what you did there. I like that. Let's see. I'm going to go into the inbox here. Cass, get your thoughts on some of these. Big Uke says, the Oil, it's ideal if they give them a whooping on their way out of the desert, but mainly don't get hurt. Hopefully the franchise will have success in their new home. Plus their owner is going to make or take his $600 million profit and run away. How much faith do you have, Cass, in Alex Morello actually bringing back the NHL to Arizona?
It all hinges on actually getting an arena that works. If he does do that, I know you're very you're very much on the other side of this where you're just like, yeah, they're not going back. There's no
I don't
chance.
think
There's no
so.
chance. I legitimately think they will. They have put so much time into that market. They have put so much money into that market. And the league has given up a lot, I think, to keep that team there for as long as they have.
Yeah.
I think they're going back. I think it could be a couple years, but the NHL at some point wants to expand again. And I think it's very possible that they will do it. So am I 100% certain? Of course not. But I think they will at some point. I think they're coming back.
If they do, and I shouldn't discount the possibility because of how big the market is, and that's a great point that you make. I don't think it's Alex Morello bringing them in.
No, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be another group. Yep, it's possible. Yep.
There's big bucks there.
Yep. Yep. Well, it's a big market.
Yeah, it is. Shimani says Trader Joe's spice and seasoning, all flavors, ketchup, sprinkle, 2-pack. Hey, TG, I heard you like your ketchup sprinkles on your corn. Shimani from Katy, Texas. Yes, I do like the ketchup. I had that. Was that you talking about that?
I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't bring that up.
Let me put the ketchup sprinkles in.
Oh, no.
Or did we have barbecue?
We had like at the game. Yeah, we had barbecue.
Popcorn.
Yeah, it was barbecue.
Let's see here. Norman at Combine says, hey, Tom, Matt, and YTT, let's go Oilers. Going to pick up a pie from Big Mamas and Papas. Not the 54-inch, but maybe a 36 to feed this crew. Haha. Memory. Wayne coaching. Have a great night, Norm. Norm, that was a lot of pizza. Cass, I don't know. You should have been here to take down some of that pizza.
I saw the boys sent me the pictures and I was like, oh man, I'm missing out on this. And then I had to show Mandy too. And she was just like, how big is that thing?
It took up
and
the
I'm
whole
like,
thing.
You've never said that to me before. That's unfortunate.
Did she smack you and say, oh, Matthew?
Oh yeah. No, she hit me. She
Yeah.
actually hit me and rolled her eyes. She rolled. That happens a lot.
That's a good joke though. I appreciate that.
Yep.
Jason in Leduc Texan says, kind of had a surreal moment here when you were talking about playing the young players, not because the Oilers were eliminated from the playoffs already, but because they've already clinched their spot. It feels good. That is true. That is true. Yep. Yeah.
It's a nice problem to have.
No scramble to get in. They've made it. They've been able to exhale and rest some people. So that's a good point by Jason in Leduc. El Presidente texting in says, I have a jersey signed by the team when Gretzky coached them. Brizgalov's signature on it, but not Gretzky's, so there's a memory there. And then Big Dave says, my takeaway from the Yotes is Shane Doan. That guy played great hockey on teams that did not deserve him. Cass, you speak very fondly of Shane Doan.
Yep, and I'll continue to. And that would be another one is, again, and you mentioned it already, there have been some really great players that have gone through Arizona and played there. You know, Tkachuk being there, Doan probably at the top of the list. I just remember Jeremy Roenick being there when I was younger and watching him. But yeah, Shane Doan, quality individual, quality family. And it will be disappointing. I mean, he has put so much time into the community there that, I mean, it's going to be sad for people like him, as well as people that, you know, had jobs at the arena, that maybe worked in the team, that aren't like hockey ops that are going to be moving, people that are going to, you know, be moving into another stage of their life. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be hard. And that part of it makes me sad.
Cass, in the nasty chat, you say that I play the piano very badly.
Yeah.
Ouch. But true.
People were talking about bands and cover bands and instruments and that. So
yes.
I just had to. I didn't think you'd be reading.
And then a few people said, including Chief Andy, Schauger brought up Tommy's load of ketchup sprinkles on his popcorn. What? I don't like regular popcorn. So I put the they have the sprinkle stuff. I gave some, you got barbecue the other day. There's also dill pickle and white cheddar. I went with ketchup.
I mean,
it was good.
You're probably a guy that puts like dill pickle and white cheddar and ketchup all on it at the same time.
That's all dressed, baby.
That kind of guy.
I would not do that. I would not do that. Cass, we have to say goodbye to you.
No, yeah.
For the rest of
the show. I got one more Yotes story before we go.
Oh, you do?
Because sorry.
Bring it on.
There's another Yotes memory.
Okay, good.
That's where I got my athletic pubalgia. So I ripped my groin and my ab off in a fight with Paul Bissonnette. Yeah.
Oh.
There's another one for you. Quick one.
Paul Bissonnette. Yeah. What will he be remembered as a legacy Coyote?
No, he'll be remembered as a legacy Twitter user.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, just being a personality, not necessarily as his time. with the Yotes, but he's done a fantastic job just cultivating what he has. So yeah, I don't think anyone even talk about him really playing anymore. It's all about the podcast and the media stuff.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Very good point. Cass, great stuff as always, my friend. We'll catch up with you on the post-game show.
Sounds good.
That is our game analyst, Matt Kassian, with Game Changers presented by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite. If you're looking to buy a home, check out DamonBunting.com. Or if you're looking to sell, also check out DamonBunting.com. He is a great guy, and we're happy to have him on as part of the show. Okay, you know what we're going to do, Trev? We're going to go inside the Oilers locker room really quickly before we go to Remy Masty from the Hockey News. So let's just go. Let's start with Chris Knobloch. How does that sound? All right, here we go.
Recalled Philip Broberg. You've now got 8 defensemen, which means in theory 2 defensemen would be sitting. Are we to expect Philip in the lineup tonight?
Yes, Broby's going to be playing. Stetcher's going to play also. Nurse and Cease are not. They'll play tomorrow night, and then we can make a decision on who plays the next game.
You ran the same lines today as you did the other night against San Jose, or do we expect the same tonight from the forwards?
We're going to have the same forward group tonight, and then tomorrow's game, playing the back-to-back, we'll reassess, and most likely some guys coming out.
Good. I was going to ask you for your Mullet Arena memories, but I don't know. Once,
yeah. It was great. We came from behind. It was an exciting game for us. So hopefully we can make more memories tonight.
Yeah.
So when you play a team that has an emotional cause here, like they're pumped, it's their last game, they got something to play for. You don't have that much to play for. Can you match their emotional level? Do you even want to try? How do you approach that?
I think it's a good dry run for us, where we're getting ready for the playoffs, and we're going to have a little bit of a playoff atmosphere. The cheering, the crowd into it, and also the emotions running high from the opposition. And obviously it's not a playoff game, but we can treat it as one and kind of get us a little bit ready for the playoffs.
Is there an element that you can feed off of that emotional energy? I know that they have a lot going on in their minds, but can you guys also kind of feed off of that?
Well, I think anytime you play in an arena with a lot of excitement, just gets the competitive juices going from the players. And I think for us, it's probably more beneficial that we have this atmosphere opposed to playing a team where it's a quiet building and the game doesn't mean anything, but I think the game means something for them, and I think it'll just give our guys a little energy and more to play for.
All right, that was Chris Knobloch confirming the lineup. If you didn't catch it earlier, this is what the Oilers are going to roll with. McDavid between Henrique and Hyman, Draisaitl with Nugent-Hopkins and Fogle, McLeod between Holloway and Perry, Sam Carrick centering Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown, Matthias Ekholm paired up with Evan Bouchard, Brett Kulak with Vinny Desharnais, Philip Broberg, who was recently recalled, paired up with Troy Stetcher, who hasn't played in a little bit. So no Kane, no Nurse, no Ceci, no Derek Ryan. As for the Arizona Coyotes in their final game, Alex Kerfoot between Clayton Keller and Nick Schmaltz, Logan Cooley with Dylan Gunther and Lawson Krause on his wings, Jack McBain centering Matthias Michelli and Josh Doan, Michael Carconi between Liam O'Brien and Aku Ratu, J.J. Moser paired up with Sean Dursey, Juuso Valimaki with Michael Kesselring, Vladislav Kolyachonok with Josh Brown. No Nick Bukestad, day-to-day undisclosed. Travis Dermott, day-to-day upper body. Barrett Hayton, day-to-day lower body. Travis Boyd, IR, torn pectoral. Your starting goalies, 32-year-old Calvin Pickard for the Oil. He has a 3-2-1 record with a .254 goals against average, .917 save percentage in 7 games lifetime versus the Coyotes. Meanwhile, 27-year-old Connor Ingram will go for Arizona. His record versus Edmonton lifetime, 0-2-1, .531 GAA, .832 save percentage in 3 games versus the Oil over the course of his career. All right. Before we get to our next guest, I have to remind you portions of this hour brought to you by 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. Catch Dusty Nielsen every morning with Uke and McCord during the week, and then tune into our dear friend Jess Jackson on your drive home from work Monday to Friday. All of our great friends over at The Bear. Very, very nice to be partnered up with them once again, it just feels like home. Miss being in that building with them, but we're on to greener pastures here at EST, and we dearly miss them, and it's nice to be partnered up with them. All right, our next guest covers the Arizona Coyotes for the Hockey News. He's Remy Masty, who joins us now en route to Mullet Arena. Remy, I wanted to get a sense of what the vibe around the valley and in the desert it's like right now with this team on the way out to Salt Lake City. Give us a sense of is this sadness? Is it apathy? What is it right now, pal?
Yeah, well, thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it. And as far as the atmosphere right now, amongst the media members at least, it's been very sad. Obviously, there are some people that have been, working for the team or covering the team for a number of years now. So, as I said in a story that I wrote yesterday, it's a family to them, and that family is kind of being ripped away very, very suddenly. And obviously, it was, relocation was on the table, but it came suddenly, and it was a bit of a shock. So I think sadness is the big word here. And as far as the fans, we'll see tonight at Mullet Arena.
If you went around the greater Phoenix area right now and you asked people if they're aware of the Coyotes and their situation and them moving, what do you think the responses would be like in general?
I would say, as far as the fans, they would be disappointed. The fans don't deserve this. I think that they get a bad rap a lot, but imagine having to deal with all of this for 20 years of a lot of losing, not many winning seasons, not many playoff appearances. On top of that, with all this arena drama that's been going on for basically the whole entire time this franchise has been in the Valley, it's hard for them. So fans are disappointed. I'm not sure the average person would really give much input, but the people who care about the team and cover the team are definitely frustrated and sad.
Yeah. Remy Masty joining us now for the Hockey News. And I people in Edmonton, I don't know how aware you are of this, but like in Edmonton, in Calgary, in Alberta, there's a lot of people that have homes down in the Valley and really love going to watch Oilers, Flames, Canucks games down there. And it's sad for them as well. But I'm just wondering, how top of mind is this? Is this making the 6 o'clock news that the Coyotes are on their way out, or does it kind of fall by the wayside late in the telecast on the news?
It's interesting because there's not a ton of media that covers the Coyotes. I'm one of few, I would say, who really covers the team on a daily basis. But over these past couple of days, and I think that Craig Morgan reported this on his Twitter, that there were 80 media credentials that were okayed for this game. Mm-hmm. And at the practice yesterday, there was really more media than I've ever seen. So it's been getting a lot more coverage than the team usually does.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you lose a major league franchise, it's going to hurt. In your opinion, being around that area, will this franchise be missed in general?
I think that it will be missed amongst the people that really care about this team. And I think that we're having a totally different conversation if they were just able to win. Winning is really the formula for everything. You see it in a market like Tampa, which is it's not a huge hockey market, but they won Stanley Cups and they're a winning organization, and that drew more attention. I think that would have been the case if the Coyotes started winning. So I think that the losing for all those years really affected the fandom and the interest in this team. So I do think they'll be missed, but they could have been more missed, I would say, if they were able to win more.
Right. How much did playing in Tempe affect things at Mullet Arena? How much of a detriment do you think that the arena in Glendale was? I know a lot of the fan base is supposedly in and around the Scottsdale area. So if they were playing where the Suns play and they had made that arena more viable for hockey, do you think we would even be at this point with the Coyotes?
I don't think we'd be at this point. I think that Glendale, which is kind of a disastrous situation. Obviously, the Cardinals play there, but NFL is a lot different than NHL,
right?
Especially here in Arizona. So Glendale was just not the right location, and Mullet Arena was never a permanent plan. It was always supposed to be temporary. So I think that their sit in Glendale did not help matters at all.
No, exactly. One of the stipulations for this move is Alex Morello gets to maintain the Coyotes name, the logos, all of that, and he has a 5-year window to potentially bring back the NHL to the Valley. And, I kind of poo-poo that idea. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. That's just from information friends that used to work for the organization that still do have told me about how things have been operated around there. How much faith do you have in the Coyotes being back in the National Hockey League within that 5-year window?
I mean, there's going to be a land auction for a piece of land I believe, in North Phoenix on June 27th. And before these relocation rumors, or not even rumors anymore, these developments came to be last week, the Coyotes and Morello were committed to winning this land auction to secure a new arena. So I think he's still committed to winning. And if he's able to get that land, obviously there's still more work to be done, but that would be a good first step. But I do think that this was more of a deal where there would be no lawsuits, in a way, where Morello still had faith that he could get an NHL team, and he sold the team to Salt Lake City. I think the NHL did this a little bit strategically.
Right, absolutely it did. Remy Masti joining us now on his way to Mullet Arena for the final Coyotes game before they make the move to Salt Lake City. The Oilers playing game number 81. We got a text here from Roger, and Remy, it's kind of directed, and I think you'd be the better person to answer it. It says, "Hey, Tommy," but I'm going to say, "Hey, Remy, can you guys explain if it would be possible for the franchise to succeed in Arizona if it were to return? It hasn't in 25 plus years. I just don't understand." We had Matt Kassian on, our game analyst, feeling it is a good idea no matter how big the market is. Cheers from Roger. What would you say to Roger, Remy?
I mean, I would say that Phoenix and Arizona is one of the better sports markets in America and really in North America. And I think that there are two aspects to these things. One, they need to find a permanent arena in a good location, not like Glendale, where it's accessible to people to go. I think that's really the first step, which they haven't been able to do, unfortunately. And maybe they're able to do in the future, I don't know. But we'll see on that. And the other aspect, like I said before, is winning. Mm-hmm. They need to win, and they need to put a winning product out. They moved to the Valley in 1996, and they haven't done much winning. But when they did, and they made it to the Western Conference Finals, that did draw a lot of interest. And I think that if they're able to do that again, this team will, and this market will thrive.
Remy, what are you expecting tonight at Mullet Arena?
I'm expecting a hectic crowd, but I'm expecting a lot of sadness, to be honest. I've only covered the team for 1 year, but for other people that have covered it for more, I'm expecting sadness from the media, from my peers and colleagues. And as far as the fans go, I'm sure there'll be some anger, but also it'll be a special moment, but also a very sad moment at the same time. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the atmosphere will be like, because it's really a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't see that happen again if the Coyotes do make their return to the Valley. Remy, thanks so much for hopping on today. I appreciate it very, very much. Get to the arena safely, and, enjoy the night as much as possible, I suppose, is what I'm going to say.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man.
I appreciate it.
All right. There you go. There is Remy Masti from the Hockey News. First year covering the Coyotes, and they are on the way out, unfortunately. So, Remy's, I'm assuming he's from there, right? He's a young broadcaster, young writer. He probably is a Cardinals guy. He probably is an ASU guy. He probably is a Suns guy. He probably doesn't mind the Diamondbacks. Probably went to a Coyotes game in Glendale in the last 15 years and thought, that's pretty fun. I don't mind hockey. Followed hockey. Down there, the way into sports broadcasting and media, the stepping stone is hockey. It's smart if you're a young broadcaster. Here in Canada, in bigger markets, the end game is hockey. And that's another one of the differences between, how hockey mad we are here, or even in the bigger hockey markets in the U.S., the Bostons, the Chicagos, Detroits, New York, Philly, Pittsburgh. But in the non-traditional markets, it's a stepping stone. And you can get in like that, and it's a great way in because you're meeting executives from networks. You're meeting some of the bigger names in sports writing just through what the NHL is. But it also tells you where that market's at. Like Remy even said it. 88 requests for media passes tonight. It's the final game ever. People flying in from everywhere. All the locals are probably showing up, local media affiliates. But I guarantee you 3 weeks ago, there was probably 7 or 8 media members in the press box. It's just unfortunate that is what it had devolved into.
Yeah, absolutely, Tommy. And he said it like there is potential. Like he talked about it. There's some really good as far as like in North America. He said it's one of the best sports cities, and it's tough. And who knows if this team ever does go back, or it's going to be a whole different team. But maybe this is like the best thing that could have ever happened to the city. You don't know what's gone until it's gone. And then you're like, wow, like what were we doing? And maybe that smacks some sense into him.
I doubt it does.
Yeah?
I really doubt it does. Huh? And I know people have texted in, Tommy kind of poo-pooing it, pessimistic. I don't want to be. I see the value in an NHL team there. That is a huge market. But to me, everything I experienced down there, talking to people, my parents' neighbors, and like, the Coyotes.
Just
those
no
fun.
need. They don't care for it.
Are they still playing? When do they play again? Oh, yeah. I've been to one of those. You want to go watch spring training instead? Yep, I do. Like, that's, we could go to the Suns game. We can go to the D-backs game. How about the Cardinals? How about ASU? How about University of Arizona? How about we go to the Waste Management?
So it's always put on the back burner.
Oh, let's go to NASCAR.
Last resort kind of thing.
Yeah. It sucks. WNBA's in Phoenix. It sucks. It shouldn't be that way. There was a chance. They blew it.
Multiple chances.
Yeah.
I just feel, Gary Bettman, if he's got a pretty big ego, and I feel like failure, that's one thing he hates admitting to is failure.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's a driving factor. He's like, no, I need to. I can't have this on my resume.
Well, business-wise, if they could ever make it work, it is a huge market. If. Hasn't happened in 28 years like Roger brought up. Let's get to a couple texts, then we'll go to Shane Doan's son, Josh, who's had a great impact in his short time with the Coyotes. Shamani says, my favorite memory is sitting behind the Gretzky family and admiring Paulina's Gucci boots. Yes, they are a fashionable family. Paulina, absolutely, and her mom, Janet, certainly. Very fashionable. Chris says, my favorite Coyotes memory was when Matt Kassian almost destroyed Biz Nasty in 2012. What else? This one says, TG, I've never been to Phoenix, so maybe you can explain this to me. Everyone talks about Glendale like it's out in the middle of nowhere, but when I look on Google Maps, there are tons of houses around there, and it doesn't seem like it's any more out of the way than Scottsdale or Mesa. It has grown in around the Glendale area. It's relatively new, but it took a while for that to happen. When they moved to Glendale in 2003, I believe it was, Kevin Quinn, I remember telling me it was just like cows in a pasture. It was just farmland around. Now there's like outlet malls and condos and some homes and stuff. But even still, the Glendale area, El Mirage, what else? Surprise, Goodyear, Peoria, where my parents were. It's not as dense population-wise as Scottsdale, North Scottsdale, Tempe, Mesa, Chandler. That whole east side has easier access, would be more hockey-centric, and could get to the downtown arena before. So, yes, it's grown in there, but it never took. And then you heard Remy Masty talking about it like the NFL is the NFL, first of all. It's a juggernaut. Secondly, you're doing it 9 times a year, and maybe preseason. And it's Sundays, and it's a tradition, and 70,000 people go down there, and it's a big thing. It's almost a whole weekend thing. It's not every second night going down to Glendale to watch the Coyotes lose. And the other thing is there's 6 million people, I would say to the texter, there's 6 million people in the Phoenix area. And that's including all the suburbs and all that. The traffic there is absolutely insane. And I'll use this example in this story. We would always stay, when I traveled with the Oilers, we'd stay at the Renaissance right next door to the arena at Glendale. Fantastic. It was good. It was a nice, clean arena. It wasn't that big, but it had enough. It was good. Dallas Eakins took over, and he didn't want to stay there. The coach ultimately has the say in where the team stays. And he's like, we're staying in Scottsdale. So we move out to Scottsdale. Beautiful. The resorts and hotels we stayed at were gorgeous. Like 5-star, bougie through the roof. And I remember the first day we had there, the team services manager at the time, Pat Garland, great guy, had been in the job for like 10 years, was like, all right, we're scheduling the bus an hour earlier to leave than we normally would, just in case of traffic. We needed 2 hours because our buses, the team bus and the media bus, got to the arena. It took an hour and 45 minutes or almost 2 hours. And the players arrived 15 minutes before they were supposed to be on the ice for a warm-up. All the trainers, the athletic staff were just looking at them going, what the hell are you guys doing? Let's go, let's go, let's go. The traffic was so bad, even in the HOV lane, which is the where you have to have 2 or more people, that we made it in an hour and 45 minutes. And Patty Garland, poor guy, was sweating his you-know-what off because he was worried he was going to get fired. And it was just from Scottsdale to Glendale, an hour and 45 in the HOV lane, bumper to bumper.
In kilometers, how far away do you, like, if you were to take a educated guess?
It's usually like a 45-minute drive.
Okay.
It's like imagine the Henday, but with 5 lanes instead of 2, sometimes 3, and a dedicated carpool lane being like bumper to bumper. And you're trying to go from Windermere to the turnoff to go to Fort Saskatchewan, Manning Drive. That's basically what it is.
That's crazy.
It was nuts. At first, I thought it was funny, and then an hour and 15 minutes in, I'm like, oh my God, the team's not even going to be on the ice for warm-up. Luckily, they got there just in time.
That's insane, man.
Yeah,
that really is.
That's how I would bring it home for us here. That's how I would bring it home for us. Text says, thanks for clarifying for me, TG. No problem. And I think, for a lot of people, there's a lot of people around here that have gone down there and know it. They understand. But not everybody has.
Not me.
And that's what it's like.
No, that's good to know that, Tommy.
That's the situation. Like, volume is huge. One crash on the Henday on a slippery morning, and we're complaining because we're 10 minutes later than we're supposed to be. You get one of those bad boys that takes up 2 or 3 lanes, and you're talking about an hour late. Couple of texts before we go inside the Coyotes locker room for the final time. Jodes in Bonnyville says, Tom, this is a bittersweet day. Many weren't around, but in 97 and 98, this easily could have been the Oil playing their last game. I feel for those generations that grew up with hockey in AZ and embraced it and now are left with memories, no future team to cheer for. That's from Jodes. And I don't know if you recall this, but the Oilers almost moved in 1998.
I was born that year, so I do not recall that. Is that
Oilers.
actually? What?
A guy from Houston was trying to buy them, and luckily the Edmonton Investors Group stepped up. It was a 39 investors from Edmonton and Northern Alberta came together, bought the team from ATB, which had taken it over, seized it from Peter Pocklington. And yes, the Oilers could have been gone. They needed 13,500 season seats at the old building. That was what the league required. It was that building wasn't even Trev. You could go to an Oilers game in '96, and there would be 10, 12,000 people there.
No way. I did not know this.
Yeah, they were almost gone, man.
What the heck?
Yep.
That's
And Arizona was selling out.
kind of
because They
upsetting.
just got their team.
it was so yeah. That would have been wow. That's crazy. I had no
Legit.
idea it was that close. Damn.
It was close. Russian spa guy texts in, says Glendale was always a disaster for hockey. Too far, too long of a drive. Works for 8 or 9 football games a year, but nobody's driving out to Glendale 41 times a year. Needed to build in Scottsdale or Mesa or Phoenix/Tempe. Russian spa guy nailed it. All right. One guy that would know all about that is this next young man who's been great as a member of the Arizona Coyotes. He is Josh Doan's son of Coyotes legend Shane Doan.
Yeah, it's been a lot. Obviously, the main focus point has been the last couple games here, but it's obviously an emotional week and something that's kind of in everyone's head right now with what's all going on. But at the end of the day, we finish off tonight, and then at the end of the game, I think it'll be a little bit different of a feeling and probably an emotional one.
It's crazy. A few weeks ago, we were talking about how you grew up here and all your connections with the Coyotes, and now the situation that you're in. Just how do you process the news and everything?
Yeah, it's been something that my whole life has kind of been around and kind of hovered around the valley about the potential of the team moving. Obviously, it's something that is happening now, so it's a little bit different. But at the end of the day, just kind of take this game one period at a time, and when it kind of ends up, then we'll see what happens. But as of now, still got to focus on the task at hand.
Josh, it's fan appreciation tonight. What have these Coyotes fans meant to you really throughout your whole life?
Yeah, I think that's probably the toughest part is leaving the fans. Obviously, what they've done for me and my family, and how much they've supported the Coyotes over the years, and in a way of it's been hard. Like I've been there with them where it's been a hard 20-25 years of not knowing where home's going to be. So it's one of those where you want to send them off on the right note and get the win tonight for them.
What has this last 10 games meant to you?
Yeah, it's been surreal. Obviously, to get a chance to play in the NHL it's a dream, but to play for the team that you grew up cheering for and grew up in the same state as, it's a unique experience and something that I'll always be grateful for.
From a team perspective, what are the emotions like heading into this matchup?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day we want to end the season on a win, and that's something that that runs deep in that locker room with a lot of competitive guys and guys that want to win. So I think nonetheless with everything else going around, I think the goal is to win tonight's game and end it on a high note.
Josh, what's the message to the fans who are going to be there in attendance tonight and watching from all over the world?
Yeah, I think it's just a thank you to them for everything that they've done for us, and obviously it's something that there's a lot of disappointed people out there and people that are upset, and it's going to hurt and it's going to sting for a while, and that's something that as a player you want to feel apologetic for everything, but as someone who's grown up in the valley and grown up with it you kind of feel the pain as well. But I think it's something where tonight you just focus on the game, enjoy one last game, and then who knows what's going to happen down the road. But for now, the Coyotes are still Arizona's team for one more day, so just kind of embrace it.
How do you process your own disappointment of playing in your hometown and then this happened?
Yeah, I think it's something where obviously it's hard to move and there's a lot that's going on. I think at the end of the day, it's something that we don't want to take anything away from Salt Lake City and the people there. Obviously that they've done nothing wrong. They're embracing us with open arms, and it's hard moving away from home. That's the end of the day. That's the moral of the whole story kind of right now. But I think we've done a good job of kind of just focusing on the game, and that's all we can do tonight.
Josh, sure you're a young kid in the league, but you've grown up in this, you've seen it, you've felt all the emotions for years. Are you upset, angry? Do you think this process has been fair to you guys?
All right, that was Josh Doan, who was discussing the final game with the Coyotes as his team. Now, after tonight sets its sights on Salt Lake City, they will be doing a whiteout at Mullet Arena, and Josh Doan, well-spoken. Obviously, his dad is a legend in the Phoenix area, in Arizona, sports legend, because there was a time where the Coyotes were decently relevant. And unfortunately, that's not the case, and I don't know what will happen in this 5-year window that Alex Morello has been given by the National Hockey League to bring a team back. Maple Jed texts in. Maple Jed says, am I the only one saying good riddance to the Yotes? They have been a horribly boring team since they came into the league and have been, beyond a doubt, the worst logo in NHL history. Bye-bye to the cash-draining Desert Dogs. Maple Grinch. P.S. I do feel bad for the people who lost their jobs. Yeah, talking to my buddy last night, working for the team. It's his first year with the team. He says it's a funeral. That's how he described it around there. No work is getting done. Why would you be motivated to do anything around there? There's no point.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And I was gonna ask this earlier when we had Matt on, but what happens as far as like the staff? Like everyone's talking about the players, but like the staff stays. Like they out jobs? Like they're not going, right?
So
do you have any insight on that?
My understanding is Coyotes hockey ops, so player development, GM, training staff, they're all going. They're going to Salt Lake. I think the broadcasters, talking to them last week when the Coyotes were here, I think they might have the option depending where they are in their life. Bob Heathouse, who does play-by-play on the radio side, he's an older guy. He might be saying, you know what, I don't need to move to Salt Lake. I've been in the desert for 25 years. I'm good. Thank you. I'm ready to retire. Heater's a great guy, great play-by-play guy. Louis DeBrusque was his first play-by-play guy. Heater helped bring Louis along as an analyst. And I think, Louis will speak highly of Heater and is very grateful for that. Matt McConnell's been there for a very long time on the TV side. I talked to him specifically the other day, and he was disappointed was the term he used. He's got a couple of kids that are now young adults, so he's going to have to talk to his family, see what they want to do. His kids are in university. Maybe his wife wants to go to Utah and give it a shot. Maybe she doesn't. Maybe she's happy in Phoenix. And then Tyson Nash, who knows what he wants to do. He's a young guy, very popular in the Phoenix area. And then on the radio side, I don't know who the color commentator was, but maybe they don't even have one. I can't remember. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's then so that the hockey ops can go, right? We'll probably go to Salt Lake City. The business side, ticketing, marketing, everything that would fly under the Morello side, the digital department, they are in limbo. Hopefully there's work for them in that company, or that the company does a good job of finding other jobs for them with other teams in the other leagues that are in the Phoenix area, or maybe helping them get jobs in and around the National Hockey League not too far away, because there's openings every year. Maybe some of them can apply. But it sounds like this Ryan Smith, who's buying the Coyotes and has the Utah Jazz, has something there, and sometimes you see like a symmetry and cohesion between the basketball team and the hockey teams that share an
kind
owner.
of interlines and everything.
Yeah, so one can help with the other. Maybe they bring some of the business ops side over, but it's kind of everything in limbo. So like my buddy works in the Junior Coyotes program. He's a coach. He thinks he's toast.
That's tough. That's tough, Tommy. But good insight on that. And while we're talking about Scottsdale, we're talking about Scottsdale. Well, he grew up in Scottsdale, Austin Matthews, and I think the nasty chats are it's buzzing right now. But Austin Matthews, he did not get his 70th of the season.
Oh,
which is.
Did he just lose the Hart Trophy?
Yeah, is that it? No, he didn't get 70. No, now he's out. Now it's So that's kind of interesting. Finishes the season with 69 goals, which
hell of a season though.
Kind of just as cool.
Absolutely amazing. He is a tremendous hockey player. And then I know some people were talking about when do the Oilers start. They've been asking me. I put it out there. I've been talking about it for the last few days. I've been told Monday. There was a chance it would be Sunday. But everybody kept saying to me from the Oilers, expect it to be on Monday, And now that we've seen the Eastern Conference, it's going to be starting Saturday, Sunday, and the plan is for there to be 4 games on Monday. It's still likely the Oilers start on Monday. I've just been told by someone within the organization that last they had heard it was still Monday, but they might try to push the Oilers to Sunday. So
it's crazy.
Tentatively Monday, still could be Sunday.
Right around the corner. I'm gonna ask this question just in the nasty chat, and it's just because this is the first time I've ever, this is my job now, covering the Oilers pretty well on a day-to-day basis. But Tommy, this season flew by for me, and there's still one more game after tonight. But just nasty chat. Was this season? Did it go really quick for you guys as well, or is it just I'm curious as to hear what you guys might have to say, but. Man, I remember the first night doing pre and post with we had our client Mixer here. Joaquin Gage stepped in with the nice, absolutely stunning leather jacket that he was wearing. So it was pretty cool, and that was crazy. Week 1, and then now we're pretty well wrapping up the season, Tommy. So nasty chat, just Materi, I guess, Materi. He thinks I thought so. So I was just curious about that because it flew by. It flew by, and I feel like it's kind of you've been doing this for quite some time.
Yeah, it was a long season.
It was a long season for you.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting, man. Yeah, we got super fast roller coaster. Yes, okay. I was just curious.
One other note on the scheduling, too. It's the ESPN TNT broadcast schedule has come out, and it looks like ESPN will have Monday and Tuesday. So it's still TBD. So we'll see. We'll get confirmation the next day or two. All right. We can go back inside the Oilers locker room. You want to get to Philip Broberg first?
Let's do it, Tommy. Here is Philip Broberg.
You to be back with this club and just around this team.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It's been a little while, but I'm glad I'm back and I'm feeling good.
You've been finding a lot of success down in Bakersfield. Can you just take us through kind of how you found your development to be going?
No, I like I said, I feel very good and confident in my game, and it's been going pretty good down there, and I want to bring that play up here as well.
Was there something specifically that you were really honing in on down in Bakersfield?
No, just trying to find more my back to my game, and be a guy that can make plays and skate the puck and transfer the puck as well. So no, I think it's been going pretty good in Baco, and I want to bring that tonight.
Is it nice to come up late in the season knowing that you'd be here and around the playoffs, and you never know, you get an opportunity to play and kind of use all the experience you picked up in Bakersfield to your advantage here?
Yeah, I think the time in Bakersfield has helped me. I think they're doing a very good job in Bakersfield, developing guys, and I think last 20, 30 games down there, I think I've taken some steps, and I'm ready to show what I can do again.
Do you notice a difference between the Philip that was wearing this jersey, back in September to the Philip that's now going to show up tonight?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, do you notice a difference between the Philip that's, was wearing the jersey back in September, let's say, to the Philip now that's going to step into the lineup tonight?
No, I think it's just I've been playing a lot of games and a lot of minutes down there, and feeling good about myself, and playing a lot of minutes, and that'll hopefully help me tonight.
All right, there's Philip Broberg making his return to action with the Oil, playing in game number 11 of the regular season up here with the big club. Spent the majority of the season, obviously, with Bakersfield. 48 games played with the Condors, 5 goals, 30 assists, 35 points, 16 penalty minutes, and a +9. I'm looking for his game log here. And going back, when was his last game with the Oilers? That was way back on when? Do you have it, Trev? I'm looking for it.
I do not have it, but I think I remember the game. I'm pretty sure I was at that game. It was against the Dallas Stars, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the last time, but definitely fact check that.
I'm double checking it right now.
It's been a minute. I'm definitely going to be glued. Like you asked Cass, what are you going to be watching? I'm going to be watching him every single shift. I think he's going to be the Oiler I'm most drawn to tonight. It'll just be interesting to see how much has stuck with him, if he's learned any, just the confidence. And I think take it one shift at a time. But Tommy, like, when they drafted this guy, like, he has potential, like,
sure he
does.
Still does.
He still does, but like, just seeing it when he was overseas playing for the Elite League, Swedish Elite League, there was a few plays and you're just like, wow, like this is really impressive. He'd skate, he had all the confidence in the world. No one could strip him from the puck, and he was going end to end. And so it'll be interesting. He hasn't done necessarily that much in Bakersfield. There has been times where you've seen those glimpses of brilliance, and so I'm really big on this player. I would really, it would just be so nice. This is Kenny Holland's first draft pick, so it would be nice to see if if he can finally, if it can click, if it can stick, if he has the confidence. But just take it shift by shift. I'm very curious to see how he does tonight.
It's the last NHL game, November 23rd. At Carolina, -1, played 5:17, only got 10 shifts. The game prior to that he played was at Florida, donuts across the board outside of one shot, played 10:22 that night, and then the Dallas game he played 5:46. The game before that he played was against Calgary in the Heritage Classic, 7:19 that night. So the most he's played in a game this season was the opener at Vancouver, where the team got absolutely blown out 8-1, 16:03. At Nashville, the Oilers won that game. Not Calvin Pickard. Jack Campbell got the win in that one. He played 14:59. Broberg did, but since then, his time on ice diminished, got sent down, and now he makes his return all these months later, looking to play confidently with the Oil tonight. All right. We have a little bit more audio video to get to. Let's move on to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins heading into the final game against the Arizona Coyotes.
Playing at Mullet Arena, how excited are you to be part of, honestly, history?
Yeah, I mean, I guess anytime you play the last game in a building, it's exciting. So I'm sure the fans that are in here will be fired up, and should be a loud one. So yeah, it'll be fun.
How does this environment compare to other NHL rinks that you experience?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, lower capacity and a lot less people, so overall probably a little quieter. But there's college fans, and we get a lot of Oilers fans coming down too, so they keep it pretty loud. So definitely a different atmosphere, different arena to play in compared to all the other ones. So it's always interesting coming here, but. Yeah, it'll be fun.
With the final 2 games of the season, there's a mix of, yes, thinking about playoffs, but also trying to keep your foot on the gas and give your best effort through these last 2 games. How do you balance that mentally of not thinking too far ahead, but also focusing on what's at hand?
Yeah, I think right now we're still, we want to build and maintain our habits and play the right way. Doesn't really matter what's on the line. It's every time you go out there, you want to play the right way. You don't want to let anything slip. And even the other night, obviously we got up early, but I thought our habits were good, and we just kind of played the same way through the whole 60. So it's important for us to do that. Obviously, you want to stay healthy, and I think we'll have a bit of a break after these 2 games, so get a chance to rest then.
Is there something that stood out about this arena, just that you found unique when you first got here after hearing about it and wondering what it might be like to actually play here?
Well, I mean, definitely this room. I mean, it's a really, really good big room. You warm up outside, so that's different. You actually go outside through a bit of a tunnel to get onto the ice, so that's also a little unique. But I mean, I think the fact that it's a college arena is the big difference here. So used to playing in bigger buildings, but I mean, we've only played. This is our, I guess, third time here, right? Three times, so not a whole lot, but yeah, I mean, it's always an interesting, fun experience.
Last one for me. What's hockey been like in Arizona? Playing here as the longest-serving Oiler, you played kind of in here. Corey Perry would have spent more time in the league than you, but yeah, what's hockey in Arizona sort of meant to you, or what the experience has been like?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely think it's been growing a lot. The fan base has been growing. but I know they've had some good teams in the past where they've had the whiteout, and they really get into it when they have made the playoffs. Back in Glendale, I mean, they filled that arena, and it was loud. So, and there's many games that we played there that were loud. So, I mean, it's and on top of that, it's always fun coming down to Arizona and escaping winter a little bit during the season. So, yeah, it'll be different. I mean, obviously, completely out of our hands. But I mean, I've always enjoyed coming down here, and we'll see what happens in the future here. But also a new experience next season. So, something that we look forward to.
There is an overly nice Ryan Nugent-Hopkins saying some things, sweetening up his answers when he didn't have to.
That was pretty good.
Way too nice because he's a classy guy.
Very classy. I like they got a big room, and the warm up. You warm up outside. That's kind of cool, and I like you kind of go under a tunnel. That's pretty sweet. And I'm just like,
yes, he's watching what he says. That
was very good for him.
Yeah. It is nice to, like he said, get away from winter, especially when it gets super cold, although for the majority of this past winter, it was quite mild here, which was a nice reprieve. But, yeah, the fan base, I think, is stagnant there. And they do have the Junior Coyotes program. I do work with kids in the summer down there. There are hockey players down there, and it is because of the Arizona Coyotes. So, for them, this sucks. 100%. But we'll see. Maybe they've got that 5-year window if they can bring the team back. All right, we have a few more minutes here. Of course, the Oil Stream pregame show brought to you by GCL Diesel. GCL specializes in giving your diesel engine's heart a second wind. We test and remanufacture fuel injectors, pumps, and turbos for a wide range of applications, breathing new life into vital components. I'm going to read out some stats between the Oilers and the Coyotes. No Winnipeg Jets, because we're saying goodbye to the Arizona team as of tonight. Edmonton. Let's see. We'll start with at Arizona. Lifetime at Arizona/Phoenix. 25, 16-9 record with one tie all time. Split between 3 buildings. There's the downtown arena where the Suns play, still to this day. Glendale, and then Mullet Arena. The Oilers have won 4 straight games in Arizona. Edmonton, in their last 11 visits to AZ, a 9-2 record. Edmonton all-time against the Coyotes, not the Winnipeg Jets, just the Coyotes. Since 96-97, the Oilers have a 53-31-16 record with 3 ties all-time. Edmonton is 8-1-1 in its last 10 games against Arizona. The Oilers this season versus the Central Division, 12-6-4. The Coyotes versus the Pacific, 11-10-2. Arizona on home ice in its final year in the desert, at least in this iteration, has a record of 21-19. No overtime/shootout losses. The Oilers, meanwhile, 21-16-2 on the road. The Coyotes playing their final game in Arizona before moving to Salt Lake City next season.
Crazy. Not bad stats. They got a winning record, and I'm surprised it's by a decent margin too. But I think they probably were. I don't know. I grew up watching when they were kind of getting steamrolled by most teams. So yeah, I'm surprised by they have quite a bit of a winning record against them.
Yeah, for a lot of those years. I think it's 8 playoff appearances, postseason appearances for the Coyotes in 28 years, so has not been good, unfortunately. It started out really good, lots of energy, but yeah, this is This is the end for the Arizona Coyotes, at least this iteration. If they can bring them back somehow in the next 5 years, great. Get the right building in the right location with the right owner, and then we'll see it take off. If you keep doing this, it's just going to be a disaster and a waste of time, unfortunately. Dell says, hey, Gazzy, how many hours do you work in a week? I don't keep track, Dell. I don't keep track. And the season has been long. I think I saw the conversation in the nasty chat going back a ways. 6 days a week I've been going since September. So it's been a long season. I'm not complaining. I'm ready for the playoffs. let's get through these next 2 games. It's going to be an interesting night watching the Oilers conclude the Arizona Coyotes franchise as they get set to move on to Salt Lake City. That's going to do it for the Oil Stream pregame show brought to you by GCL Diesel. A big thank you to Remy Masty from the Hockey News for giving us the Arizona/Phoenix side of the story going into what will be probably a sad day at Mullet Arena. And as always, on behalf of Matt Kassian and YouTube Trev making that face, I'm Tom Gazzola saying thanks for watching, thanks for listening. We'll catch you on the post-game show. Enjoy, for the last time, the Edmonton Oilers and the Arizona Coyotes. Ciao for now.